This is like a once a year tradition, it feels like at this point. I get really sick and you have to host.
I think it has been. Like, I think at least once a year.
I'm not even worried. I'm not going to sit here and make you practice your what's going on, guys, anymore. I just want to go back to bed.
We'll make it quick.
I'm going to give you full reins to host this episode, and please, for the love of God, make it quick.
Well, being quick is part of my nature. What's going on, guys? It is Nick's Picks week, I think 14. Yeah, 14.
I'm titling this video Ben's Picks because I don't want to be associated with whatever the fuck he just said.
Well, then it's Ben's Picks, and I am joined with Nick. Nick, I already know how you're feeling based on your voice.
I went to the Syracuse game on Saturday. We beat number 6 Miami. I felt good. I felt good all day Saturday. I felt good all day Sunday. Monday rolls around. I feel fine most of the day Monday, and then midway through work, my throat starts to hurt, and I'm like, oh, did I scream too loud at the SU game? And this is like a really delayed effect. And then we went to Lights on the Lake last night, which on local people, that's just a bunch of lights by a lake
that you drive through.
It was pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, I started getting a fever. My throat started hurting more, and today has just been
awful.
Yeah. So then I'm looking forward to your incredible hosting skills that we know you don't have. And hey, you got a score prediction right last week, so
I was like, hey, give me some credit.
You're feeling great.
It's the only good thing. It's definitely not my team, but we'll get there when we get to the recap. So even though I got a score prediction, even though it was going great for me, I missed on a couple of our differs, which we'll get into. And even with the score prediction,
I should have challenged.
Well, you did challenge.
Should have challenged.
If you did challenge, you wouldn't have the score we have right now, which is tied 134 all. This is going great. Two ties
I'd be in the
season.
lead, and that would be awesome.
Well, too bad. But we're going to get right into the recap. We're going to start things off with Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, actually, besides the nightcap, in my opinion, had some good games. The first one with the Bears and Lions, which is my score prediction I got right. I kept bouncing back and forth on. Thank God I stayed with the Lions.
All because the Bears absolutely fucked that up so bad.
Thankfully, if you're a Bears fan, they got rid of the head coach. That might be good things going forward, but that was just ridiculous.
At first, I was blaming Caleb Williams, and then we heard later that it took 20 seconds for Caleb Williams to get a fucking play.
But moving on, we move on to your team. I don't know if you want to talk about it, even if you were feeling better, but the Cowboys win. Yeah, I mean, both teams are tanking. I don't know why the Cowboys decided to win. At least the Giants are full-on tank mode. And then we finished off Thanksgiving with the Packers going against the very cold weather faring Dolphins, who just can't do it. I mean, I didn't think they were going to win even if this was Green Bay in September, personally. But we move on to the Black Friday game, which actually was a pretty good game for the most part. If you want to say the Chiefs got bailed out by the refs, I wouldn't really put it past you. It was kind of weird, but I also think the Raiders kind of shot themselves in the foot. They didn't go for the field goal when they were in field goal range earlier.
I love people want to take every single excuse to say that the Chiefs are cheating or whatever the case is. Like, the Raiders fucked that up. I don't know what more explanation you want on that one.
It was the same as the Bears. Like, the Raiders could have won that game. They made it worse for themselves. All right, and into Sunday. Gotta talk about my team first, just to get it over with. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I know we have slower for hot takes. This is my hot take. Kirk Cousins needs to be benched. He needs to be benched. I don't know if you saw the one pass that was, I don't know if it was a pick six or I don't know he threw an absolute mallard. Like, it was like there was nothing. I don't know what was going on. The defense is doing good. The run game is doing good. What's the problem?
It's like what the Giants have been the last
still the quarterback.
Yep.
I kind of want Penix to start just to, like, the last 5 games, just see what you got. But at the same time, it's like you could still win the division. It's whatever. It's always a weekly thing with me. Colts barely won. Steelers beat the Bengals. Seahawks, Jets. Not really many good games. Another close game, though, that you got right over me was the Cardinals. Or no, did you? No, you picked the Vikings, right?
Yeah, the only two games I got over you were the Ravens and the
Falcons. Yeah,
Falcons.
The only other game that kind of looked at was the Commies destroying the Titans, but then the differ that we had on Sunday night, the Eagles and the Ravens. Very close game. What's going on with Tucker, dude?
Not only that, when you picked the Ravens last week, it was the same thing with the Chargers the week before, where you did get that one right, but I just don't think this Ravens team has the offense to go against. I mean, they should, and they should on paper, but I don't think they have the offense to go up against the Lions or the Eagles or the Packers or the Chiefs or even the Bengals right now.
Well, yeah, because even in those Bengals games, they're only won by like like 3 points or whatever. But no, yeah, I mean the Ravens defense did really well, but the Eagles just found a way to still win. But
the Eagles
Justin Tucker's
really fucking good because they might beat the Lions. They're the only team I think that could beat the Lions right now in the NFC.
Yeah, because it's not the Niners. It's not, especially with what happened. Niners lost to the Bills. The only real thing of note is that McCaffrey's out for the year.
He played like
2 always.
Games. Yeah,
like always. And then I only want to talk about the Broncos and Browns because Jameis Winston is just so funny.
That was an entertaining game. As much as you would not expect a Browns-Broncos game to be entertaining, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, no, I think if I told you Jameis Winston would have almost 500 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, you'd be like, yes, that's a Jameis Winston game.
Technically, he had 6 touchdowns because there was 2 to the Browns. Or 2 to the Broncos.
That's true. So he always gets touchdowns at least. But that's how we get to our tied score of 134 all. And I mean, I don't know how much more you got to add. I mean, both.
Hey, you caught up. You caught up. That score. It's the classic case.
For so long.
It's the classic case of a score prediction bailing Ben out.
Hey, you
from
know
his
what?
Lousy Falcons picks every fucking year.
A win is a win. Before we get into our Week 14 picks, we have our always lovely guest Slower with his always somewhat medium, sometimes hot takes. We'll see what they are. Slower, get in here.
We totally didn't record this at the end of the episode. Yeah, Ben is hosting today, so he'll be asking you all the questions. I'll be here looking all cute.
Well, let's not go that far.
Wait, I look like shit. I'm fucking drunk right now.
I'm sick, so.
I'm so fucking.
Ben just looks like shit normally, so.
Shut the fuck up. All right, we got Slower here. We're gonna get his. We're gonna get his hot takes. We got 5 of them. We got Nick. Nick's just Nick still.
Nick was just chugging along, sucking too much of something. He just can't talk right now.
No.
Having DeVito's spicy meatballs when he's down his throat.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this first hot take you got for us, Slower.
All right, Ben, pick a number between 1 through 5.
1, because I am number 1.
Sean Payton should be in top 3 talks of Coach of the Year. Fight a brick wall. He got rid of Russell Wilson, got Bo Nix. They don't have the greatest team like assembled at all. Their wide receiver core is not that great. Their running backs are pretty decent, and defensively they have PS2 and maybe 1 good defensive lineman. Who else really? Yeah, he should definitely be top 3 Coach of the Year. As board. Well with Dan Campbell and maybe someone else.
Yeah, I can't really think of anyone else besides Dan Campbell, but I think he's the runaway. But I can't argue against Sean Payton. He's at least minimum top 5. I can at least say minimum top 5. But top
Sean
3,
Payton, and I would say Minnesota's head coach probably deserves to be up there. He brought Sam Darnold to a 10-2.
True.
A winning record. That's it. Sam Darnold to a winning record.
I'm gonna list you guys 4 teams. You guys gotta tell me what their main thing is. Ready? The Ravens, the Eagles, the Packers, and the Chiefs.
Like what all those teams have in common?
Yep.
Ravens, Packers, who and Chiefs?
Eagles and Chiefs.
Eagles.
They're winning teams?
They probably all lost to somebody.
They all got a new running back, whether it was over the offseason or at the beginning of the season. These 4 teams have proven that running backs matter, and these 4 teams are going to be the 4 teams in the championship games.
Who's the Chiefs one?
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, okay. They got him back.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not.
That was only because Pacheco got hurt. I mean,
no, they could have went with anyone else, but they went back and got Kareem Hunt. They got someone new instead of saying, you know what, let's just rely on like our 3rd string running back.
I think if anything, the Eagles. I think if anything, the Eagles proved that Saquon could have been so much better behind a decent line. But
I was like, yeah. I put it more on the Eagles and Ravens that Henry and Barkley are behind better O-lines or better schemes. Like they're
better teams all around. I think it showed more than anything that schemes matter in the NFL. Way, way more than the average fan would realize.
I just think it's very funny that like last year we were talking about how running backs are not getting paid at all, and now these. I'll get rid of the Chiefs for now, but these 3 teams all got new running back, and they are the staple of the offense.
And honestly,
the Eagles would not be that great without Saquon.
And honestly, Detroit's proving it alone. I know they didn't get new running backs, but Detroit is only Detroit because of their run game.
Like Goff is still solid, but like you got 2 great running backs.
I gotta talk my shit. Speaking of the Packers should be on everyone's top 5 teams for power rankings. I can name 4 teams that are better than them. I can't name 5.
Lions, Bills, Chiefs. I'm sorry.
No.
No. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one.
Bills, Eagles, and like
Eagles.
Maximum Steelers. Max.
I don't know about
Pittsburgh. I wouldn't say the Steelers. I would not say the Steelers.
We can just trade out Pittsburgh and Kansas City since we disagree on both of those. But, I mean, that still puts them at 5.
Yeah.
I would say, Buffalo.
I'd give it to you. I mean, they're 5.
Maybe the Chargers.
They're 5.
Maybe the Chargers.
Out of 5. But
well, the Packers versus the Dolphins Thanksgiving. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Did not watch a single snap.
I bet. My cat's here.
Amazing. He talks about the Packers and a pussy shows up.
I was waiting for someone to make that.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. So, who is the Dolphins QB, guys?
Tua. Turn the ball over.
What's his record when it's below 40 degrees? I'm pretty sure now it's like 0-7 or 0-8.
I don't think he's won yet.
I think it's common NFL knowledge that the Dolphins suck in cold.
Well, if Dolphins want to be serious contenders in the future, they have to get rid of Tua.
Yeah. Yeah, I
can't argue against that.
Not only like the skill aspect of Tua, I just don't think is up to par with at least the first 20 quarterbacks on the list.
Yeah, I think it's more of a health thing for me.
Health. Like you can't rely on him to be throwing his head first into defenders.
He has 5 concussions in the last 2-3 years. He came into the league with injuries, so I feel for him because I want him to do well, but at the same time, it's eventually you gotta pack it up.
My last one,
all right, make it good.
Oh, it's gonna be good. Although he has a very high contract, there will be teams that will want him and will make room for him. Joe Burrow should seriously consider asking for a trade out of the Bengals. There is zero reason why he has the most passing yards in the whole league, and they're 4-8 because of that defense. And they refuse to fix the defense. If Joe Burrow was on a multitude of teams that were a quarterback away, I could even say if he was even on the fucking Jets, get rid of Rodgers and put him on the Jets, they could be a serious fucking contender. He should seriously ask for a trade.
I think he has to, if he can keep Jamar Chase, I think it's still worth staying because that's his guy. The season ended, and the next day he asked for a trade. I wouldn't put it past him.
I'm Joe Burrow. I'm going to the front office and saying, get Zach Taylor the fuck out of here. I
don't think
it has really anything to do with the Bengals themselves. I think it's all Zach Taylor.
Plus, even the front office, you get rid of Joe Mixon, who's been your bell cow, and look what he's doing in Houston. So it's but I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to leave to get to a better situation.
I know Joe Burrow's been in the league, 5 years now? And he's made a Super Bowl with Cincinnati. So there's something to build there, and they have weapons, like Ben said. I just think whether it's Zach, not a huge avid follower of the Bengals, but whether it's Zach Taylor or even higher up in the front office, I think they really need to look in the mirror after the season because something just went absolutely fucking wrong this offseason.
I think it's more of a scheme thing, if anything else.
It could be, but at the end of the day, I would want Joe Burrow instead of Jordan Love right now. I'll be honest.
I'd take Joe Burrow over Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock or whoever the fuck you want to throw in there.
Nice having you as always, Slower. So we'll see you maybe next week. Who knows?
I'll feel better next week, and I'll have more energy to talk shit to you.
I'll have 9 or 10 takes done.
Sounds good. God, you just had to ruin it.
Good to know. I'll be waiting.
Peace. Take it easy, man.
Peace.
All right, we move on to our Week 14 picks. And
wait. Oh, you were gonna do it. Okay, I wasn't sure you were gonna do it.
I got you.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Let me cook. Boom, there they are. Take a look for your, as Nick would say, your special little teams. And we're gonna kick things off with actually rare occurrence, a good Thursday night game. I know it happens once in a blue moon, but it's a good Thursday night game between the Packers and the Lions. We both think it's going to be the Lions because even though Green Bay is good, still...
I understand. I probably would say all around the Lions are a better team than the Packers. That close to picking the Packers in this one.
Same. I think if this was in Green Bay, I would consider picking the Packers, but I think the Lions are just too hot right now, even though it was a close call on Thanksgiving. Also, just because this is back-to-back Thursdays that they're playing, which is kind of funny. You want to talk about your team first, or do you want to talk about my team first?
I mean, my team's going to lose to the Saints. So.
My team's losing to the Vikings. Good.
I'm actually shocked. I'm actually shocked that you didn't pick the Falcons.
How fucking no? How fucking?
And I would have had a harder time challenging this one than last week's.
When you have an absolute dud against the Chargers, and the Chargers are a good team. I'm not saying they're not a good team, but when your offense puts up that kind of performance, I can't justify picking them, especially on the road in Minnesota. I think it's gonna be a close game. I have it kind of high scoring, but I could definitely see this being a very low scoring game because both defenses are solid. I said last week, if they lose to the Chargers, they're not winning the division because I looked at the last 5 games. The Bucs have an easy 5 games. Falcons have 2 possible losses. And I think this is one of them. All right, there's not really many games, at least to my knowledge, unless you want to talk about them. I mean, like Bucks, Raiders, Eagles, like there's not many good games. The only one that's also really bad that we differ on is the Jags Titans.
I do want to put this out there with the whole Trevor Lawrence situation and that hit, and a lot of controversy in the NFL world about whether or not that hit was clean. You know, what is the defender supposed to do? Blah 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 blah. That was a dirty fucking hit. You can't 100%. You cannot swing this any other way for me. That was a dirty hit. He dove head first down. So
straight for the helmet.
He knew he was sliding, so he dove downwards. Nobody dives like that when they're tackling a standing straight person. You can't sit there and tell me, oh, his momentum. Fuck out of here with that. And to be completely honest, I think he should be suspended for however long it takes Trevor Lawrence to get back on the football field. I think that should always happen. If a player knocks out another player with a dirty hit, you should be out as long as the player that you knocked out is. That's at least how I think it should be done.
If not longer, because you caused it.
That being said,
this reminds me a lot of like Vontaze Burfict.
Yes.
On the Bengals.
Well, I don't think I'm not sitting here saying that Aziz, whatever his name is a dirty player and anything like that. It was just a dirty play, and those kind of plays need to be stopped in the NFL. So
like yes, we have these in the offseason.
I do agree to an extent with Tom Brady. He had a little thing on this where he said that we're in a league that protects the quarterback heavily, and we have offensive coordinators that constantly call quarterback runs. Like, constantly. You want to protect your quarterback, stop calling those plays. But on the flip side of that, if they're sliding, they should feel secure enough to not get a blow to the head.
It's more so that, like, if you're running, if he like was like running like Josh Allen does and like wants to hit, that's fair game. Like, I can't defend on that. He's sliding. You shouldn't be making that kind of a tackle.
But but that being said, Jaguars, they're off. They didn't have an offense to begin with. Now they don't have Trevor. I went with Titans. You went with Jaguars. This really isn't much of a differ. It's just that's why I went with the Titans. They didn't have an offense before. Why would they have one now?
To be fair, I have this as a very low score. I don't really think either team's good. I just The next one that I really kind of want to hear you out on this is the Cardinals and the Seahawks. This is the second time this happened. The only other time was with Falcons and Bucks, how we differed on both. Maybe history repeats itself because so far I was right on both the Falcons one and you are right so far once on the Seahawks. So
to me, at least over the last couple weeks, the Seahawks have been kind of on a they're on pace to win this division now, and this is a team that I didn't think was going to scratch the division. I mean, I thought they were going to come in second, but like nowhere close to the 49ers. But this is a team that's in a path to win the division, and the Cardinals, on the other hand, they're starting their decline a little bit. So I think this is where these paths cross and the Seahawks take full control of the NFC West. I think top to bottom, the Seahawks are a better team. The Cardinals are so close. The Cardinals are very close to being a legitimate football team. Not saying they're going to be a contender or anything like that, but the Cardinals are close. They're not there yet. The Seahawks, I don't think the Seahawks are like contenders by any means. The Seahawks have a playoff football team. This is a team that can make the playoffs.
I don't disagree with any of those. I just think this is just one of those games where like you look at these two teams and you think they're going to split the games. And I think the Seahawks already got the one, especially because the Cardinals kind of threw a dud on the last one. I think they're going to come out and try and at least show face on that. So that's why I'm picking the Cardinals, and they're home for it. I don't necessarily think the Cardinals are going to win the division, though. I think I'm with you that they're still going to tread down. I think they're just going to get this one last win, and then they're still figuring things out. I definitely will say Kyler has definitely done better than what I thought he was going to do this season. So I was wondering if he was the quarterback for their future still, and he's proven to at least still be capable of leading this team. And then we end with Sunday night and Monday night. Monday night, not a good game. The only thing that's good with it, in my opinion, is because it's The Simpsons.
Just real quick before we do get to that, I was close to picking the Bears over the 49ers.
I was too.
How bad the 49ers have actually been, but the Bears have been worse. So
I'm going with, weirdly, not the better overall team or the healthy team. I'm going with the better organization. But I think that is it for Week 14 Ben's picks. I'll return to your regularly scheduled programming next week when Nick finally feels better. Maybe he'll have the lead. Maybe he won't. I wouldn't be surprised with the two differs. We end up tied again because that's how it always happens. But now the roles are reversed. Is there anything? Oh, no. First, sorry. It's been a while.
You got this. I believe in you.
I'm not good at this.
I'm leaving all of this in.
I just realized we didn't intro slower.
Yeah, I was going to have you do that after we finished. I was just going to edit it back to the beginning.
But be sure to like and subscribe on Nick's channel. It helps him a lot. It makes him feel better about himself. Be sure to follow Slower, and all the links for that will be down in the description below. Maybe not. Who knows? He says he streams. He doesn't really. But with that being said, Nick, got anything else to say?
I want to go to bed.
I don't blame you. But yeah, if we didn't say enough as it is. Score's still tied. We're going to head out. Nick wants to go to bed. Have a good one, guys. Peace.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Other than the fact you forgot to introduce Slower, and we're going to have to, I mean, the people won't know that because I'm going to edit it to perfection. But yeah, that wasn't bad. Hey, honestly, out of the 3 years that I've made you do this, that was definitely your best hosting job. So let's get a round of applause in the comments for Ben. Let's get some nice words about Ben. He made the comeback, so hey, he might win his second straight Knicks picks in a row. It's not gonna happen, but yeah.
I just have one request.
Oh boy,
I don't want to host again.
I can't promise that. Bye.
Oh man.
Oh, I even got to say the bye, guys.